Welcome to Into the Desert, where we discuss relevant issues with respect and without finger-pointing. I'm Larissa Munz.
I'm Elgin Hushbeck.
We're still getting started here, so please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, or if you have any questions, please comment down below. Another infamous decision. Tensions remained with the end of the Civil War. There was a desire among more moderate Republicans and Northern Democrats to heal the nation and readmit the Southern states. More radical Republicans pushed to ensure full civil rights for former slaves. With a lot of help from Lincoln, the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery passed in 1865. Still, the principles of the Declaration remained an unachieved goal, and while slavery was banned, the issue of race remained. Southern states began passing black code laws, limiting the newly granted freedoms. These laws had the unintended consequence of strengthening the radical Republicans' arguments and resulted in the passage of the 14th Amendment in 1868. The 14th Amendment effectively overruled the Supreme Court's Dred Scott ruling that Africans could not be citizens. It also tried to enshrine many of the rights recently passed by Congress into the Constitution, in theory, shielding them from future Congresses. After he became president, Ulysses S. Grant supported passing several civil rights bills to give blacks more freedom and to permit the federal government to go after groups like the Ku Klux Klan. They were successful, largely driving the Klan out of existence, though they would stage a comeback in 50 years. Grant also supported the adoption of the 15th Amendment in 1870, which prohibited restricting voting on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. The election of 1876 was one of the most controversial in American history. It was finally settled in Congress with the Compromise of 1877. Hayes would become the president, and Reconstruction and Federalist efforts to enforce civil rights would end in exchange. Southern states quickly expanded their efforts to restrict the freedom of blacks through Jim Crow laws, named after the character in a black minstrel show. In 1890, Louisiana passed a law requiring separate but equal rail cars for blacks and whites. While separate in practice, normally they were equal only in theory. Homer Plessy was arrested for sitting in the wrong car and found guilty by Judge John Ferguson. In Plessy v. Ferguson, 1896, the Supreme Court upheld Plessy's conviction, enshrining separate but equal into the Constitution for the next 60 years. In the lone dissent, Justice John Marshall Harlan wrote,
"But in view of the Constitution, in the eye of the law, there is in this country no superior, dominant, ruling class of citizens. There is no caste here. Our Constitution is colorblind, and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens. In respect of civil rights, all citizens are equal before the law. The humblest is the peer of the most powerful. The law regards man as man and takes no account of his surroundings or of his color when his civil rights, as guaranteed by the supreme law of the land, are involved."
Justice Harlan went on to predict,
"In my opinion, the judgment this day rendered will, in time, prove to be quite as pernicious as the decision made by this tribunal in the Dred Scott case."
He was proved correct. Today, like the Dred Scott decision, Plessy v. Ferguson is considered anti-canon by virtually all modern legal scholars. Mistakes by the court. Thank you for listening to Into the Desert, exploring the wilderness of thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your comments below. Remember, be civil. We want to foster discussion and not division.